In the blink of an eye, love can sweep you off your feet and shatter your heart. Emily thought she had found everything in James, but when betrayal struck, she was left questioning everything. What happens when trust is broken? And can love truly heal a broken heart? This is a journey of love, loss, and rediscovery. My name is Emily, and this is the story of how I lost myself in love and then found a new version of myself through the pain. It all started in the fall of my second year at university. My life was normal, going to classes, studying, and spending time with friends. Then, James came into my life. James was the kind of guy who seemed special right away. He was tall, had bright eyes, and a smile that made people feel happy. We met while working on a project together. Soon, I felt that there was something special between us. It didn't take long before we became best friends. We stayed up late talking, shared our dreams, and then we realized that there was something more than just friendship between us. One night, while we were walking in the university garden, James suddenly stopped and said, "Emily, I need to tell you something." My heart raced. "What is it?" I asked. James smiled and said, "I love you, Emily." In that moment, I felt like everything inside me had changed. We got closer, and then our lips touched. It was a moment I would never forget. Our relationship grew quickly. James and I became everything to each other. We told each other our secrets, our hopes, and the feelings we kept inside. One day, while we were watching a movie in my apartment, James looked at me with serious eyes. "Emily, I can't imagine life without you," he said quietly. Then, our conversation stopped, and the world seemed to pause. James pulled me closer, and we kissed again. This kiss was full of love but also sadness and deep emotion. Our love was full of special moments. Sometimes, these moments were small, but they were so powerful that I would never forget them. Like the evening we decided to swim in the river. We found a quiet spot by the water, and we swam without a care in the world. James pushed me into the water, and I laughed as I sank deeper. It felt like we were alone in the world, enjoying every second together. We just looked into each other's eyes. Then there was the day we ran outside in the rain. The streets were full of water, and there was a nice smell in the air. We held hands and ran through the rain, happy and carefree. James smiled, and his happiness made me laugh. Those moments we shared together were the best moments of my life. But after a while, something changed. James began to act differently. He didn't listen to me as much, and when we saw each other, he seemed distant. I thought it was nothing at first, but then I realized that something was wrong. One day, I decided to ask him directly. We met at our favorite cafe, and I nervously asked, "James, you've changed. What's happening?" James looked down and then said something that broke my heart. "Emily, I need to tell you something. I didn't want to hurt you, but now it's time to tell you the truth. I've started a relationship with someone else." For a moment, I couldn't say anything. I asked him, "What do you mean?" James looked down and said, "I love her. Ever since we started dating, I felt something was missing, and I found that with her." I stood there, shocked, feeling like something inside me had broken. The love James had shown me felt like a lie now. I didn't say anything more, I just stood up and left the cafe. My heart was racing, and I felt tears in my eyes. I kept asking myself, was he ever honest with me? I walked quickly, and then I got a text from James, "Emily, I'm sorry. I hurt you." I replied quickly, "James, your apology doesn't change anything." A few days later, I learned something else. I heard that the other girl James was seeing was actually an old friend of his. When I asked his friends about it, I found out that she was his first love. I had a lot of questions, but I decided that I needed to move on and end this chapter of my life. One night, James called me again. "Emily, you heard the truth. But I want you to know that she is part of my past. I didn't tell you earlier because I didn't want to hurt you. I was really angry. In our last conversation, I said, James, you never told me the truth. Now, I don't want you in my life anymore. I cut him out of my life and never looked back. This experience was painful, but it taught me an important lesson. I learned that when someone lies or betrays you, your self-respect must come first. I realized I had the chance to rebuild my life. I understood that loving yourself is just as important as loving someone else. Now, when I look back, I realize that this experience helped me see that the truth always comes out, and when it does, it gives us the chance to find ourselves again. And that's my story.